All right. Hello, everybody. Happy Tuesday. This week, I'm going to go over two of the requested Zoom topics from our team page. And when I had asked, let me make this. All right. So when I had asked, requested Zoom topics, what did you guys need to hear? You guys threw out some really awesome topics for me to cover on. Sometimes I struggle with coming up with ideas or really knowing what you guys need to hear from me. So I'm really thankful that you guys participated in that. The two topics this week, I'm actually going to go over two topics. I'm going to kind of blend them because to me, they fall hand in hand together. And also, one of the topics I feel like is very, not simple, but it's very, very simple to breeze over to me on my words of wisdom on it. I keep it pretty simple. So the two topics that I'm going to go over is one, how to approach strangers about plexus. Strangers out in public. And then number two, how to brand yourself on Facebook. And you might be thinking, how do those tie in together? But let me kind of just dig right into it. So first and foremost, how to approach strangers in public about plexus. This can be a really scary thing for a lot of people. So let's talk about the two different ways that you would really bring up plexus to a stranger. The first way would be when you're already having a conversation with them. And the second way would be you're not having a conversation with them at all and you would walk up to them like in the aisle of the store. So let's go on topic number one, or on tip number one, which is bringing it up casually when you're already having a conversation with them. This is how I tend to go about it. And I don't go about it like, oh, well, I'm already in a conversation with this person, so I might as well just bring it up. No, I intentionally start conversations with people in public. So that I can do this. So I keep my ear out for when they say something. So I strike up conversation. That's just something that I've always done even before plexus, but now I do it very intentionally with plexus. If you're not doing this, I encourage you to do it. Okay. Chatty Cathys are attractive, as far as hearing what you're going to say, right? Wanting to hear what you're going to say. So being chatty, being friendly, and bringing up casually in conversation like this. So if they say something, I generally ask, 9 times out of 10, like my go-to question to strangers in public is, oh, how old is he? He's so cute. I always ask, how old is he? How old is she? And especially whenever I can tell they're around my kid's age, because I'll say, oh my gosh, I have 2 3-year-olds. I could tell they were kind of the same age. And they're like, oh yeah, they're crazy. I'm like, I know. And I start to chat about motherhood with them. That's personally my go-to. You find what's your go-to, right? Is it handbags? Is it, can you tell designer name brands and you can chat it up with somebody? Because that's something I could never do. Like if my life depended on it, I couldn't do that. And so find what your niche is and go with it and strike up conversations with people in public. And ask questions, right? Like, oh, keep the conversation going. And then when I find an in, to bring up plexus, I don't say, okay, so you really need plexus. No, what I say is, girl, for example, for me with my mommy network, I talk about the energy aspect of it. Or I talk about the working from home aspect of it. So 2 ways that I do that, I'll give you an example of both, is like for the energy, when their kids are being all crazy, they'll be like, when they have a newborn, for example, I'll be like, oh my goodness, so cute. Like, are you getting any sleep at night? And they're like, oh, you're having a normal conversation with them. And they're like, girl, I don't know how you do it. Like, I didn't have my supplements with my first 3 babies, but with my next one, I'll make sure that I take these supplements called Plexus, and they like give me so much energy. I don't know. Like, I don't even know how moms function with, like, I look back, I don't even know how I functioned without them. And that opens the door for them to be like, oh, what's that? Or, oh, they'll ask, what's plexus? Or what are you talking about? Or, oh, that's cool. Yeah, no, I wish, and it gives you that in to be able to bring it up a little bit more. So when you're opening those questions, what I talk about when I bring up the business is whenever they talk about being home with their kids or, something financial, I somehow bring up that I don't know what I would do without my at-home business. Or I'll say, yeah, like I work from my phone. So like I somehow throw into the conversation when I'm conversing with strangers at the gym, I always bring up somehow that I work from my phone. They'll say, like, there's one girl that I just met at the gym yesterday or the day before. What's yesterday? Yesterday. And we were chatting and I'm like, oh, she said something. She's like, oh, are you done on cardio? And, it's such a simple question. And all I said was, yeah, well, I work from my phone. So I did cardio first so I could kind of knock that out. And now I'm over here hitting weights. And she's like, oh, that's cool. Yeah. What do you do from your phone? I'm like, oh, which is going to lead me to my next tip of what I do. So bringing it up and leaving that room for questions, just throwing it in of how you do it, and it will open that door to the conversation. And I love what my corporate coach says about, don't worry so much about how you're going to bring up plexus. Worry more about what you're going to say once it's brought up, because it's going to come up. Now, he says that in regards to friends and people that you're talking to regularly for the most part, but even for strangers in public too. Like if you really are keeping your eye out for ways to integrate it, you can integrate it so simply. So there's not that pressure of, oh gosh, when am I going to mention it? When am I going to mention it? Let it come out during conversation like anything else would, right? So that is my tip of bringing it up in conversations. Now, which leads me to my next part is, as soon as I start to talk to somebody about it and they're like, oh, well, what's that? Or, oh, you know what? One of my friends has told me about this before, but I never heard them. No matter what their response is, I find a reason to say like, oh my gosh, you've never tried it? Here, just add me on Facebook so I can tell you more about it. I know you're busy right now. I'm going to let you go. Or I pretend like I'm busy. I'm like, I got to go, but here, add me on Facebook, and add them on the spot. That's what's so key, is adding them on the spot to their Facebook. And if for some reason they don't have a Facebook, I'll get their phone number. I'm thinking of like maybe one time that somebody didn't have a Facebook. Usually they have a Facebook. So adding them on Facebook, which is why I say these two topics intertwine with each other. Because then I'm going to jump over to, well, now they're on Facebook, so now what, right? And so casual conversation that you're already having that you have intentionally struck up, or if you got lucky and it just happened anyway, that is my tips on bringing it in about yourself and letting them ask questions and opening that door for it to be a really natural conversation. Now, scenario number 2 would be that you see somebody standing in the energy drink aisle or the cold medicine aisle, and you're like, dang, that person needs plexus, right? And you want to approach them. And so this can be really scary. This is the one that can be scary, because you're like, am I really about to just walk up to this person and say, hi, I'm Jen. I work with Natural Health and Wellness Company. We sell supplements, blah, 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 right? Maybe some of you guys are like that. I don't see anybody on this call that is, but let me tell you guys, I am not, for one, okay? So if you're looking for a leader who can tell you how to professionally walk up to people and be a professional salesman, it's not going to be me. You can find trainings elsewhere, but that's not going to be me. So my words of wisdom on this, if you guys want to hear it from me, is let them hear your heart. If you feel that nudge, that tug, like that lady really needs plexus. Maybe it's that she has 5 kids and she's clearly exhausted. Maybe it's, that mom at the park whose kid is throwing a tantrum and they have a newborn and they have that look of dazed sleep in their eyes. Or it's, that person who's really sick or has a monster in their hand, right? Or, has a pounding headache and is buying Excedrin migraine. Like whatever it is, we're going to see people all around us all the time, everywhere we go, who in their head, we're thinking and knowing that poor person needs plexus, right? I know that we've all been there. And so when you do feel that nudge and you are going to be approaching those people, which I strongly encourage, like I said, going back to personally what I do, I strike up conversation with the person. Like I'm thinking in my head, you desperately need plexus. So I'm going to be like, dang, the weather's so nice today. Like, thank God it finally stopped raining. Like I will strike up a conversation about anything before just boldly going up to somebody and saying, hi, you need my supplements, personally. But there were a couple of tips that I know I've heard from Jules in the company, and I know that a lot of people do. And I've done it twice now, ever, in 2.5 years. Maybe it, the conversation starters work best for me. So I would say maybe I should do it more, but I don't really think that's true. But anyways, important to hear your heart. Okay. It's important that they hear your heart when you approach them. And that you're not just being that salesperson. I mean, that's just the truth of it, right? And so some phrases to avoid sounding like that crazy, I'm trying to make $1 off you person, would be for them to hear your heart. Now, how would they hear your heart? Well, phrases like, I wouldn't normally do this. This is way out of my comfort zone, but I couldn't not say something. I've done that before. I've done, to say I've only done it twice is super dramatic. I've done it more than that. But but I'll do that even though when I'm having different conversation with them, I'll use that phrase of, I wouldn't normally do this, it's way out of my comfort zone, but I can't not say something, like I have something that I think could really, really help you. Or if you just want to be super bold about it, you can tell them like, hey, how's it going? I saw you over here by the monsters. My husband used to be so hooked on them. I actually share something called Plexus. Have you ever tried it? It helps with energy. And let them answer yes or no, they've tried it. Usually people have a story. They either know they've never even heard of it, they've never tried it, or they have some sort of story, right? And so those are my 2 tips on bringing up is, hey, if you want to go the route of like, hey, hear my heart, this is way out of my comfort zone, super uncomfortable, but I don't want to not say something. Or number 2 would be, hey, to me, relating somehow, like I used to be sick all the time, or my husband used to be hooked on those things, or, I know exactly how you're feeling, Mama. I feel so bad for you right now. You look so tired, relating with them somehow and still being that tidbit of conversation starter and jumping straight into it of, I actually share something. I don't say sell. I share something called Plexus. Have you ever tried it? It really helps with X, Y, and Z, whatever it is that clearly you're approaching them for. And so always remember, why are you approaching them? Stay true to that. Stay true to why you're approaching them. Don't make this conversation about you, right? It's all about them. How is it going to help them? What is the issue that you brought it up about, and how it's going to help that issue? And so once again, and then once again with I'm reading my notes. Once again with the people who you would say, the more cold contact of the person standing in the energy drink aisle, that would be the person also same as the conversation. You would say at the end, like, I promise I'm not crazy. I know I sound crazy, but would you be up for adding me on Facebook? Like I can add you and I can just tell you a little bit more about it. I really think they would help you. Some people might say no, and some people will be like, yeah, sure, you can add me on Facebook. And so I do want to say, for those who are really nervous about approaching strangers, you always have to remind yourself, like, give yourself a pep talk before you even walk up to them if you need to. But what is the worst case scenario? They're going to say no thanks. I have yet to have anybody like be super rude to me about Plexus. And I'm sure that 99.9% of you guys on this call, I can attest to the exact same thing. Like, people aren't mean about it. The worst case scenario is they're going to be like, no, thanks, I'm not really interested. And you know what that tells you? A person's not ready to work on their health. And that's okay. And if it's somebody in passing and it's a complete stranger, then just, say a little prayer that somebody will come across their path at the right time for them and that they're going to get help for that issue. But if they're saying no thanks, then it's just not their time, or they're being closed-minded. They're maybe more of a reserved person. And like I said, say a prayer that somebody in their more immediate circle can help them out and that their timing will be right before it's, sooner rather than later, right? So don't be scared of that word no. It's usually paired with no thanks. And it's not a scary thing, you guys. It's just not a scary thing. So now they're on your Facebook. You've added these people on the Facebook who have said, yeah, sure, you can add me on Facebook, probably hesitantly, but they added you on Facebook, right? So now what? So this brings me to topic number 2 of how to brand yourself on Facebook. So they're on your Facebook. What are they seeing? What are you showing them? What picture are you painting for them about Plexus, about you, about this person that approached them in public that they don't know at all, right? Okay, so my number 1 tip for that and what I do is message them right away. When you get home, or usually I wait until I get home and I message them right away and I say something along the lines of, hey, thanks so much for adding me on here. I know that was super random, but I'm excited to tell you more. It was awesome meeting you. And then I continue my conversation where I left off. So the product I was telling you that could help you with energy is actually called Plexus Slim. You've never heard of it before, right? This is what it does, and sending them information, which would be a whole other conversation of what we send them. But like I said, most of you would have, share with them as you would share with your other family members and your other friends and your people on your Facebook, right? So it's that initial message of reaching out to them of, okay, I have you on my Facebook, but I'm not going to be a stranger, is my point in that, is reaching out to them and being genuine. And then number 2 is the way that you post. Right? Well, and tying into that also, messaging them is not doing it all at once so you don't look like a creepy stalker, which I have later in my notes, but loving on their posts too, you know, throwing out comments, going, kind of seeing what their life is about. They have kids, going and say, oh my gosh, what a cutie, you know, something like that. Don't be a stranger once they add you is the whole point of that. So my tip number 2 is what your posts are saying about you. Okay, so they're on your Facebook, and let's be honest, our Facebook paints this picture of who we are, what we stand behind, what we stand for, you know, what type of person we are, what are the things that we like. Are we a nice person? Are we rude? Are we full of drama? Are we funny? Do we love our husband and our kids? Are we single? Are we loving life? Are we super depressed, right? I mean, these are all things you can gain from someone who actively posts on Facebook. So how are you representing Plexus when you post? That's something you're going to need to ask yourself. So I wrote down some do's and don'ts on this whole branding yourself on Facebook thing. And to me, this topic can be brushed over fairly quickly because to me, in my head, it all comes down to the things that I'm about to list, which are pretty easy peasy. So I have 2 don'ts and 2 do's. So 2 do's, it's a weird saying. Anyway, so number 1, post positively. Don't be a negative person. No one likes drama. No one likes negativity. You know, I should scratch that. People do like reading your drama, but it's nothing good. Okay. So no one actually appreciates and respects you when you're posting all of your drama, but don't get it twisted. They probably like reading your business. That's not a good thing, you guys. Keep drama and negativity off of your Facebook. Keep things positive. Everybody is attracted to that person who is full of light, right? Is that positive person. I mean, today, let's be honest, I feel like poop. Like my throat feels like it's full of needles and I just want to lay down and I feel like warm and clammy. And I, you know, post a silly picture of like, you can't sit with us, sore throat, you know, and just keep it light. Don't always be negative, which really there's no one on my team that I could think of that's full of negativity, but you're going to run across them of people who are going to join your team. And number 2 would be live the Plexus lifestyle. What does that mean? You know, taking your kids on walks, going to the gym, eating healthy, enjoying healthy recipes, feeling good, going out and doing fun things, laughing, joking, being an upbeat, healthy, happy person. That is what we represent behind Plexus. All right. So what are some don'ts? Well, don't be scammy. All right. Scammy as in keep it that ratio of 2 to 3 depending on how much you post every day. General rule of thumb would be 2 personal posts, 1 Plexus post. Okay. That's 5 Plexus posts in a day is scammy. That's what scammy is. When you're constantly posting about it, when everything has a hashtag about Plexus, everything mentions Plexus. That is not at all what people are attracted to. That's not at all what we're here to do. So stay away from scammy. That's a don't. The second don't I have is don't be salesy. All right. So when you do have that 1 to 2 ratio and you do post about Plexus, don't be salesy. Now, we're in direct sales. We're in network marketing. And I understand that no matter how we slice it, we're here to sell some supplements, right? But being salesy is different. And it's probably not even a real word, but let me tell you, to me it is. Because as always, your Plexus post should still be personal posts. So, and skip the sales graphic and post a picture of yourself with your pink drink. And even the difference between posting a picture of like your supplements sitting on your kitchen counter and posting a picture of your kid holding your supplements is night and day difference. One is salesy and one is not. Make your Plexus post as personal as you possibly can, which most of you guys are so great at. So those graphics that you see, those ask me now, or, you know, why wait, like these graphics, we call them sales graphics, should be like once a month. Okay. Occasionally I post one. It's not like I stay away from them like they're completely the plague, but I would say 1 to 2 months, once every 1 to 2 months, you'll randomly see me post one like that. Everything else is going to be some personal posts. Your own pictures when you add to a post, but also you guys, I strongly encourage to, this is me slapping some people on the hand, stop with the copy and pasting. Okay. Come up with your own original Plexus posts. If your copy and pasting posts aren't doing it for your audience and aren't doing it for you, and you feel like you're struggling and you're like, I'm posting the same post that Emily Roberts posts and 5 million people liked it and no one liked my post. Okay, well, there comes a point where we need to come to grips that, first of all, most of Emily Roberts' following is Plexus people, okay? So let's not get down on ourselves and compare, because when we copy and paste somebody's post and they got more attention on their post, we kind of feel sorry for ourselves for a minute, right? But the reality is our network's different. Our audience is different. But second of all, to me, when we preach to post sincerely and really build your brand on Facebook, really branding yourself and your sincerity and your love for Plexus, how does sincerity and copy and paste really align with each other? I mean, really. To a certain degree, maybe an occasional post, definitely every once in a while, I copy and paste posts. That was really good. Maybe add a little, bit of my own. But the constant copying and pasting, like I said, slapping some on the hand, that's not good for business. That's not good for your image. That's not good for branding yourself. Be you. Be you. So let me see. Oh my gosh, no. Jen Dewey is texting me and she thinks I'm off Zoom. I'm not off Zoom. She said, I'm praying you're off Zoom when you read this. I'm not. So I hope you watch this later, Jen, and realize I was not off Zoom. Okay. So also, my kind of wrapping this up, find non-Plexus ways to connect. Yeah, Stephanie, I'm like blushing because of the push. That's pretty funny. The text just sent me. That was horrible timing. So anyways, find non-Plexus ways to connect with these people. So another way to do this is, okay, so you have them. Okay, so you're posting correctly. You sent them an initial message. You sent them. But we know that the key is in the follow-up, right? And you don't really know this person. So that's where it becomes important. I'm going to kind of just wrap this up with focus on building a friendship with them in some way, shape, or form. Connect with them on some level on what they're posting personally. Don't be all Plexus all the time. Comment on their things. Like I said, make it a goal to build a friendship with this person because this is relationship marketing. You don't have to be their best friend. You know why you added them on Facebook. You know it was because of Plexus. They know you added them on Facebook because of Plexus, but still building that underlying, hey, I'm a nice person and I genuinely care about your needs and I genuinely, see you as a Facebook friend that I care about is super, super, super important. But above all else, you guys, just be you. Be you. That's why I say less copying and pasting, less trying to overthink everything that you're going to say to this person. Be you and just make it a goal to get them on your Facebook with those casual conversations. And, it's going to take a little bit of boldness and it's going to be a little bit scary at first. But like I said, worst case scenarios that they're going to say no thanks. And let's face it, that's not the worst thing we've ever been told in our lives, right? It's really not that scary and it's not that intimidating. So let's get out of our heads, start approaching people in public. Everywhere we turn, someone needs these supplements, and we have what people go to bed at night praying for. So you guys have an awesome Tuesday, and I'll see you guys later.